Here, Andrew, come here.
How exciting! Come on in.
Hugs?
Yay! Oh, so sweet. Hello, my darling. Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
So please, let's chat.
All right, how y'all doing?
Good. I feel like my brain has, there's not enough time, but overall, let's start from kind of the beginning. Full Circle, the term Full Circle, where did that come from?
Full Circle's a farm out of Ojai, up north. So the co-founder that I work with, Ganar Loveless, his father started the farm 30 years ago. So we most associate to these kinds of ideas that intentional communities bring people together, but we wanted to do it in an urban setting.
Yes. Nice. Amazing.
And then, of course, Full Circle, just the idea that everything comes
back around.
Back around. So you want to make sure that you're putting good energy out to the world. So.
What prompted you to get started doing something like this? You know, what was your inspiration?
We kind of talked about it. There was a lot of things that were going on and continue to go on, I think, with the Venice community and just recognizing the sort of differences between the homelessness issues, the police, the gentrification, and not really having a place where everybody can come together, because really everybody comes together in that room, as you've seen, especially the people willing to connect, and that's what we want to do on things that are solutions, and that's really what we focus on.
Right.
I think my favorite thing when I was there is the speakers that you bring. And does it follow a certain theme? Like every week is someone different, or you bring the same people, or who decides that?
We go through a process of vetting. I mean, usually we like to focus on people that either have books or they have something to offer the community. The week before, we had an amazing guest who was a police officer and went through one of those life and death experiences, and it just changed his life, and he realized, like, I need to help, I need to shift my life, and he started something called Director of Happiness. His name is Alon Lager. So, but yeah, each week it's different. Somebody in the community that's doing something and involved with what, we believe in.
So we have to go to break, but we still have lots of questions.
So many, so many questions.
So we come back. When we come back, we have more. All right?
We are back on Get It Girl, and we are here with Andrew Keegan talking about Full Circle. So tell me more about it, because I was zenning out just watching the segment.
I have a question. Did you grow up with religion?
I did. I guess I went to a Christian school, so yes, and that, was an influence in my life, but what I realized through that process is that there's so much more out there.
Of course.
And I think that that's really what was one of the inspirations, is the desire to explore, like I said in the piece, and that I realized, especially in Venice, that there's so many other things going on. And a lot of it's also that desire to focus on oneself. Like when you're going through your 20s and you're going through breakups and all of these different experiences, especially growing up in the industry, and there's some heavy things that I saw, and how do you take care of oneself within? And that's really was part of the inspiration, is discovering those kinds of practices.
No, yeah, the girls actually wanted to ask you that, because they're both actresses, and they wanted, what were you doing?
Yeah, I mean, in general, like, gosh, my question. So one, this idea of religion, you said that you grew up, learning Christianity and things like that, but the whole idea of like core values and morals, is this a basis that you have, that you take with you on Full Circle?
It's actually funny, I was driving over here thinking about that in the sense of that we know what feels right. We know what's right.
Of course.
And then we're influenced by
Innate,
things. Right.
yeah.
I mean, and then of course, if you're in an altered state, you're gonna do things that are not really right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different, ways to look at values, and I think at the end of the day, that's, once one person's happy, you're gonna do the right thing.
So it's about finding your own values for yourself.
Really, it's the spirit within.
That's so interesting, yeah. That's so interesting, because as an actor, as musicians, as all creatives, I mean, LA is just chock full of creatives trying to make
energy
it in this industry. What kind of, advice would you have for them about finding their own leadership skill, about
as an actor through Full Circle,
their
because you're a
strength,
leader.
their confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where meditation and these practices really help you tune in, so that you're standing in your truth. And really, this sounds a little woo-woo, but there are signs every day. Like, I'm on the right path, I'm not on the right path. Is everything going wrong? Like, I had somebody that I was speaking to recently. I'm in a men's group, and he was talking about this phase in his life, when he was married, and there were a lot of things that were going wrong. There was a flood, there was an accident. And so I kind of pointed out to him that was, those were the signs saying that you were not on the right path. And so once you start recognizing, like, things are smooth, things are synchronistically going in the right direction, you get the job, there's you get there on time like I did today.
What's
and
going
then-
on
Yeah.
here? Yeah.
So, and you start following those signs or start following that feeling. That's really as simple as it is, you
Yeah.
know? And especially with actors, it's like there's so much stress and
Oh
so
my
much
God.
anxiety driving around town, trying to, you know,
Yeah.
is this the right part? Is this not the right part? So once you start to really take the time to listen to what feels right within,
Yeah.
and that's through the practices of meditation or being in community
Yeah.
too, like we're doing now,
Right.
like being with other people that have ideas or experiences and sharing
Open,
amongst, yeah.
honest, transparent. It's really interesting hearing that because as an actor, we learn in even acting school and in
Right.
classes that being present, being in the moment, not being up here trying to analyze and pull things away, that's the best place where we can be. And is that the place that you find yourself not acting but in life whenever it's the best?
Well, it's actually really interesting you bring up acting class because sometimes you were there, it's like there's similarities to the
Yeah.
experience. It's theater, and at some
Right.
point you realize that life and art, and I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of sayings about that,
Yeah.
it's almost one and the same.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
mean, at this point, I feel like, especially in
Do
the room,
you-
I feel like I'm in an experience of theater. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is our stage.
Yeah.
This
And
is your stage.
Is full circle profitable?
You know, it's not. In fact, today's kind of an interesting day. We have been doing this just out of passion and love for the community. I put a lot of my own personal funding into making it happen. We did a campaign over the summer where we raised money to be able to stay there through the end of the year. The building is for sale, and so actually just today I'm letting the community know that we, at this time, are going to actually be closing down. So that's a little bit of a
Well, come on, guys.
Hurry up.
What are you doing? You guys need to give us a
but
call.
but